The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds bring you all the news and commentary from the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jared, the Dark Jedi Bachman Subs, and joining me is the one and only Professor Levi Baum.
Oyo boyos.
We got a quiet Oyo boyos today. And we were joined by the illustrious, we got the lore keeper, we got Connor Chikiti in here.
Hello there, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yes, indeedy. We're light on news, but there is some depth to some of these stories that I'm looking forward to, and two of them kind of tie into each other. But yeah, real quick programming note for everybody at home. Next week, there will not be a new episode of Knights of the Nerd Republic. We're going to put on Instagram or Twitter a poll for you guys to decide which episode of the Versus series you want to hear in the main feed. Saturday, I'm getting a tattoo, and the timing of my appointment is going to make scheduling the show a little bit difficult. That's also going to be my little mini birthday celebration because I turned 23 on Thursday.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yes.
You're 2 years older than me. Wow.
What's the
1 year?
Ben Kenobi, getting too old for this sort of thing.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm here to stay. Y'all aren't getting rid of me that easy. But anyway, so expect an episode of the Versus series in the feed next week, and let's pray to God there isn't any massive breaking Star Wars news, because God knows that's our luck. Something's going to happen next week. We're going to get a trailer for something, and I'm going to want to die. But this week, we're going to jump right into the news with a story that kind of had the fandom on fire. Not in a bad way, but in a very excited way. In the comics currently, a big event is revving up called the War of the Bounty Hunters. And in the pages of the Dr. Aphra comic, we are looking at the return of the one and only Legends fan favorite, Durge.
Durge is back. My mic sounds bad. Do you hear that too?
Yeah.
I do not.
I did.
You hear it. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah. Durge
out.
is back.
There it is. Yeah.
Again. Woo.
Here, you guys discuss. I'm going to fuddle with the soundboard.
Oh, okay. Well, Connor, you go first. Oh yeah, that is. I'm gonna use this mic for now.
I watched. So I watched the 2003 Clone Wars. Only the first volume, really. I saw some of the second volume. And we'll get into that later, a little bit later on. But I like Durge. I thought he was a cool bounty hunter. I thought he was a cool adversary for Obi-Wan. He's a bit too OP because, like, I
agree.
It took a lot for him to die. So I kind of hope that if he dies in probably not this story, but in a future story, it's less outrageous. And I'm saying this for Star Wars, but still, I don't know. I'm excited for his reintroduction into canon.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on Durge. Like, I think he is overpowered. I'm actually hot take. I'm not a fan of Durge.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not much of a bounty hunter guy in general, but
yeah,
Durge is just one of those cool looking like Legends characters that I remember being like, "Ooh, he's neat as a kid," and I'm excited he's canon again. This was something I was not aware of. I pulled up his Wikipedia just to get the cliff notes here, and I'm going to run through this real quick. Just so we're all on the same page and might have an idea as to what's happening with him in canon. Durge is a male Jedi bounty hunter who was active in the galaxy for almost 2,000 years. Able to survive several near-death situations due to his Jedi heritage and enhanced battle armor, he fought in several wars and collected a multitude of bounties. Over the centuries, Durge acquired a deep distaste for Mandalorians and even killed their leader at one point. As a result of both personal tragedy and torture, he became increasingly mentally unstable. Tempted by the idea of killing Republic clone troopers, clones of the Mandalorian Jango Fett, Durge was recruited into the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone War, given the rank of commander. He performed several key missions for Count Dooku himself and led the droid forces in combat on more than one occasion. Near the end of the war, he was launched and force-pushed into a star near Maramir by Anakin Skywalker, where he was truly killed. So if he's showing up in the pages of War of the Bounty Hunters, clearly that last sentence didn't happen in canon.
Yes.
His legends, power set? What do we call it? Like his
skill set.
His skill set is it doesn't feel like it belongs in Star Wars. That is my take on Legends Durge.
Like the regenerative stuff?
Yeah.
That's fair. Like I said, it's one of those I'm excited to see what all becomes canon with him. Is my big thing. Like I'm more excited to see how he's brought into the canon than I am to see him individually. Again, in Legends, he was dead by the end of the war. So for him to be showing up during the Galactic Civil War is already an interesting idea.
But you know who actually fought in the Galactic Civil War in Legends? Dash Rendar. Didn't really have to do any acrobatics for that one, but I still chose Durge.
I honestly figured when I saw the show notes that Levi would make a Dash Rendar reference.
That's normally a safe bet. Now we just got to wait for Code Geass, One Piece, and
I can't think of the other one.
Drawing a blank on the name of the game. Help.
Oh, that game you don't play. That's been sitting on your cabinet for half a decade. That game.
It's not been half a decade. What is it? Darksiders?
Dishonored. Darksiders is also cool.
I always get them mixed up. But
Darksiders is like a hack and slash Legend of Zelda puzzle game.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm curious to see if he makes it out alive. I hope he does. I also, a friend of the show, Scotty J-Ro from the Bombad cast, was positing that between
Scotty.
Yeah, we love you, Scotty. You and your sick flow. But between this news, our next story, and the coming of the Book of Boba Fett, there might be a little bit of crossover here. And
I honestly could see that happening. I mean, the thought of live action Durge intrigues me, especially because of his distaste of Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I think having somebody who has like an aggressive hatred towards Mandalorians going after Boba Fett or being like one of the antagonists of Book of Boba Fett, I would enjoy that a lot. And if we've learned one thing, it is that Disney is not being cheap at all with the budgets they're throwing at these shows. In fact, after the Snyder Cut, I am convinced that the streaming wars are about to turn into an arms race for who can produce the most high budget thing, period. Snyder Cut got an additional $70 million on top of the money that was spent on making Justice League the first time, for a movie that does not have a true theatrical release and cannot make money back in tickets. It's about, building the content pool to rack up subscribers. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think Disney could afford to put Durge in the show at the very least.
I think Lucasfilm could also.
Should be blinking pretty.
They could do it.
Yeah. there's a good chance this show. There's a good chance you guys lose Levi and I soon. But anyway, moving on to our next story, which is a little bit of a quickie.
Legends drop.
Yes, according to some leakers, it seems like we are going to be getting a huge drop of older stuff from the Star Wars mythos on Disney Plus,
including
Caravan of Courage, Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, both volumes of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series, Star Wars Ewoks Seasons 1 and 2, and The Story of the Faithful Wookiee.
For those that don't know, The Story of the Faithful Wookiee is an animated story which features the first appearance of Boba Fett in the holiday special. So that little shot of Boba Fett with the phaser looking ass rifle that we all know and love, that's part of that story.
So yeah, very, very exciting stuff. Not a whole lot to dig into. Whenever it is out, I do want to do a little bit of a revisit of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Yes, we need.
Anakin looks like a double-chinned thumb with a wig.
He does, and I love him so.
Yep.
It's also my favorite Anakin Skywalker outfit in Volume 2.
Oh, yeah?
Huh. Yes. In fact, for the Clone Wars Tartakovsky retrospective, we will be having our friend Arzu back on for that.
Hey,
she's never seen it.
That's cool.
Nice.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, quick story there. Other story we're going to get to here real quick. I'm going to see if we can.
Surprising no one.
Yeah.
This really shouldn't be a story.
It shouldn't have to be.
Yeah, but this fandom creates stupid stories like this because we suck.
So, I don't dislike Kathleen Kennedy. I didn't want her face that close. I accidentally clicked on like the picture in the article. So in an investor's call last week, somehow some Phantom Menace chuds got into the call to start asking questions and started grilling Bob Chapek, the current Disney CEO, about the future of Kathleen Kennedy with Lucasfilm and whether or not she will be replaced by either Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni. And in his response, he basically said that we like Kathy and we look forward to having her around longer. It's basically what his statement amounted to.
She related to the politicians?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
There's a lot of people who don't like her, and that last name is scary to have when you're a public figure. However,
she should be sticking around a while.
What? I didn't hear what you said.
No, it means she should be sticking around for a while.
Yes. I will also follow this up with, again, it needs to be addressed. The Phantom Menace going full QAnon about this one. The fact that when this story broke, it was met with headlines and video titles of hints at Kathleen Kennedy sticking around. Lovely folks such as Doomcock claiming that this is just a giant psyop and that if they announced it publicly during the call, then they would get sued by Kathleen Kennedy. But that her employment is still up for debate, even though apparently it's been up for debate for 5 years now, and she's still making the company money. So believe none of the chuds. Here's a good like golden rule. If you see the word SJW in a video title, it's probably horse shit.
Yep.
Just generally, it kind of starts to fall apart at the seams.
So Kathy's staying, yeah. Woohoo.
Yes.
I mean,
it's kind of, I don't know, easy to decipher. Like, oh, a president who's raked in a lot of money and made pretty much a lot of success, helped make a lot of successful product.
We're done.
With the Star Wars fandom, is here to stay. Oh, wow. I wonder why she's staying. I don't know. It's just they've been grasping at straws for the last 5 years, but this is just, especially when it concerns Kathy. I just said Kathy like I know her. I wish, but especially when it concerns Kathleen Kennedy, it's like they're reaching, man. It's so funny to see, kind of scary, but also funny. Anyway, enough of that.
I agree with you completely, and I want to get to the Oh, okay. So this is like kind of like a weird tie-in to it. On top of like all of the weird shit Doomcock's been doing with trying to imply that like, oh, they're lying deliberately to keep her docile. Talking about how there's like allegedly like a secret meeting happening to discuss her firing.
Which is just preposterous when you think of it.
So this is fun, and here's a little bit of crossover with the main show because this does involve the Snyder Cut. Earlier this week, Zack Snyder openly and very upfrontly disavowed Geeks and Gamers, which sent the Phantom Menace into a bit of a tizzy. And in the wake of that, and a bunch of people saying, well, you said fuck you to Geeks and Gamers, so I'm not watching the Snyder Cut. Doomcock says, I'm deeply saddened. So we have cancel culture in the Phantom Menace now. Really? Hate Snyder. Heap your abuse on the idiot. Love it's just like, let's actively encourage harassing the man. Yes, but if you skip watching his movie WB made giving into our demands, you turn a victory for TFM into a defeat, and they will never listen to us again. Then some other chud replied to him and said, I don't want to cancel Zach, and we absolutely shouldn't. That would be our slur. But he did deal a blow to Geeks and Gamers who campaigned for this movie hard. I didn't mind the movie, but man, that one hurts to see. Keep being you, Overlord. To which Doomcock replies, the more I think about this, the more I think this may have been a, in caps, deliberate plot, caps over, by people who hate the Phantom Menace to trick us into boycotting the very thing we wanted, furthering the corporate narrative that fans cannot be pleased, so don't try. Can't you see? Evil and clever.
I just lost brain cells.
So not only is this like a wide-reaching conspiracy for some reason, very, very specifically, Zack Snyder was talking about the recent spike in Asian hate crimes, which is repulsive. And, you know, obviously I think it goes without saying that the Nerd Academy stands against all forms of racism, bigotry, and fuck anybody involved with any of that. I burned my two, but I won't be on next week, so it's fine. That said, the fact that Zack Snyder deliberately called out Asian hate while referring to Geeks and Gamers, in my opinion, that is a straight line to what made the Phantom Menace, which is making a career out of hating The Last Jedi, and by extension, being very, very, very aggressively hateful towards Kelly Marie Tran and Rose Tico. Like that's how I interpreted that. Now, again, we cover a lot of Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite fandom. So maybe I'm in a little bit of that, like when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and I'm seeing like, oh, this is how people being obsessed with hating The Last Jedi led to whatever. I have a hard time thinking that those two things aren't connected. Like the fact that it was 3 years of hatred towards Rose, and then he specifically calls out stopping Asian hate. That says something. And on that topic, related to Film Gob, another person within the Phantom Menace, who had I don't recommend seeking it out. This isn't the kind of like watch it to make fun of it type shit. Blue Bantha Milk Co. has the video retweeted so that people can find it and report it. Film Gob is like openly making jokes about committing hate crimes. Like, is just openly talking about like mass executions.
Yeah, I think I saw some of that. And I think I saw some of EVS. I think that's all I really need to say on that one.
Yeah. So, and that son of a bitch is credited in the Snyder Cut. But again, I will give Zack Snyder and WB the benefit of the doubt and say that they saw somebody with a big Twitter following who did a lot of hashtag release the Snyder Cut and probably didn't do a background check on the guy, which I can't necessarily blame them for. But also,
isn't it because he also wrote some early DC comics that like Zack kind of used in the Snyder Cut? Like he used elements of it. That's what I've been hearing.
I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't even know Film Gob's real name, quite frankly. So, and it may not
with EVS, not Film Gob.
One more time.
No, with EVS like being credited, not Film Gob. Unless
that's who it was. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Like a lot of what the Snyder Cut is lifting from is like a mix of New 52, Assembly of the Justice League, and a little bit of Dark Knight Returns, a little bit of Death of Superman. That it's a weird blender of it. And like, again, like obviously this is the Star Wars show, and I don't mean for this to be a Snyder Cut conversation because that'll be on Tuesday for you guys, but it bears mentioning because we arrived at the Phantom Menace being here because of Star Wars. And like there are very clear reverberations, and when they act a fool, I feel like it's kind of, a responsibility to be like, here's what they're up to. Here's how to spot the horse shit. So yeah, stop Asian hate. And I burned my F-bombs, but imagine I said one them. Moving on to our last story of the week. Like I said, guys, we have a really light week. We have potential confirmation of Mina Massoud playing Ezra Bridger. Now, if you guys remember a few weeks back, actually, bringing it all back whenever Arzu was on a couple weeks ago, we discussed the rumors that Mina Massoud of Aladdin fame would be playing Ezra Bridger in the Ahsoka Tano show, and there was no real response about it until he took to the Instagram earlier this week and posted a selfie with a very interesting caption. So it is him in black and white, the high top haircut going on, sans shirt, with a caption that reads, "Hey, just so you know, when I escape, I won't hurt any of you." Which sounds like a cool, badass, I'm vague posting because I want to look hot, and he certainly does. Until you maybe Google the quote and realize that is spoken by one Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels. So is he teasing it? Is he just trying to like mess with people? Who knows? It's not exactly
specifically said in the season 2 episode Stealth Strike, which is pretty good. I recommend.
So yeah, Levi, what do you think's going on here? Do you think he's trolling, or do you think he's preparing people for an announcement?
I think they have to take him because there's so much. It's almost universal support for him to be cast. Yeah, I think it's legit. Honestly, I
Isn't this weird being back to audio strictly for us?
Yeah, it is.
We keep both looking at the camera as though we should be looking straight ahead.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it's cool to have him as Ezra. But I'm not the best authority to talk about that because I'm not a fan of, the live action Aladdin, and I don't know this dude outside of Aladdin, and I'm not the biggest fan of Rebels either. It was cool when Thrawn was involved, kind of like Maul being a crazy bat case, but aside from that, Yeah, I'm not big on either.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
however, I I know the general personality. And yeah, I think it's a really good match, especially because Ezra. Man, this mic is pissing me off.
I can't hear what you're talking about. I really can't.
Oh, it's awful. They're kind of the same character.
Yeah. The Space
Right?
Aladdin jokes stand on their own now.
Okay. Yeah. And then now it's both Disney, right? So that'd be kind of funny. Yeah. Just a play Aladdin again, basically.
But with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Aladdin better.
But yeah, Connor, do you think this is legit, or do you think he's just trying to get people hyped for no reason?
The skeptic in me thinks he's trolling and he's trying to get us hyped, but there's also a small part of me, because of KRT's reporting and the fact that it was picked up by Forbes of all trades, that it could be legit. I don't know. I think it could be, because for me, or at least when it comes to someone posting something in anticipation on Twitter versus, say, Instagram, I feel like Instagram has more quote unquote reliability. I don't know. It's like that's a general rule that's a general thing I've noticed, is that when people like post stuff that like they're going to become this character in this show or whatever on like Instagram, it's like you kind of know it's going to happen, versus Twitter, where it's just kind of like they could just be trolling us, because that's just the nature of Twitter. So
it feels a lot.
I don't know.
True.
Yeah, on Instagram, it feels a lot more like
Twitter.
hey, like, look at me saying this thing. Where on Twitter, there's like, you have to take it with like a sense of irony that they're just leaning into a fan casting and be like, hey, go for it. But like, let's also remember, like, like you brought up Kessel Run Transmission's report that he was already in talks and that things are already underway. Like, Rosario Dawson spent how many years just posting fan art of her as Ahsoka Tano, right? And then they made it happen. So I don't know if the chicken came first here. I have a hard time not believing Kessel Run Transmissions, but
I'm skeptical of them, but like healthy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you always should be. Stuff changes. They may not even be. I don't think they've ever lied. I think they've just been wrong, but they're rarely wrong.
I think in this case, there's no reason to be wrong.
I mean, yeah. I
opinion.
agree. I think the only way they get the rug pulled out from under them here is if there's stuff that happens behind the scenes that just prevents Mina from like signing on a dotted line. You know what I mean? Like officially putting his name on a piece of paper. Like, should there be a scheduling conflict? Sure. Should there be, somebody's not 100% happy with what the paycheck looks like? Should something like that happen, I would not be surprised if their reporting kind of falls through. But again, at this point, I don't think they're being dishonest. I think the only thing that can make them wrong is a change in circumstance, which they would report on anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of fall in the middle here, where, we all remember Mr. Raoul from the Haunting of Bly House, who there was like that one, the people wanted to see this guy as Ezra Bridger, and then he did not stop posting shit about Ezra Bridger for 3 months.
And we all thought it was legit.
A lot of people thought they were going to do it and that he was teasing everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's a part of me feels like I've been burned on getting excited to see live action Ezra Bridger, that I'm not going to hold my breath now that somebody else is posting about being Ezra. But we shall see. That's all we got this week.
This is
it's a pretty light week.
How was your day, Connor?
Not too bad. Just been job searching and
Oh,
other stuff.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, trying to set up some other stuff for this show that we've had in development for a while.
Cool, dude.
That's all I'm gonna say. Jared knows
Yeah.
about it. I'm pretty sure you all know about it.
I probably know and then forgot. So
Yeah, Jared knows about it because, like, he's quote unquote the headmaster. I don't know, but
you can call him boss and piss him off. It's okay.
Yeah. That's been it. There's the thing. There's a fairly cool thing that we've had in development. We're just waiting
Nice.
for it to
I got
develop further. Trying
Mhm.
to keep it as low key as possible.
right.
So yeah, I don't know. How was your day?
I was accepted into a fellowship, so I'm gonna get my master's in 2 years. I'm experienced at a local school, paid
Impressive.
for. The tuition will be paid for. I get
Nice.
a $500 per month stipend,
Hell
which
yeah.
isn't a lot of money, but it is money, and so
Yeah.
it will go to paying off those loans that are going to be frozen for the next 2 years.
I'm very happy for
Well,
you.
they're still collecting interest, but I don't have to start paying them off, which is good, because that's a lot of money. Anyway,
I love how we stuck a little campus life in here because of this light ass episode.
yeah.
We stuck a little teen app and campus life. Just it's a trilogy right now.
I will say up top, be sure to go check out the most recent episode of the Number One Contender podcast. We were up very late last night because it was 2 very long, very big matches, and
Very long, very big.
spoilers for people who have not seen the big match yet, who plan on watching it. Connor, you're making a face. Do you want me to say what I'm about to say?
Sure.
Okay. I didn't know if you were planning on watching or not, or if I was going to spoil for you.
I don't know jack squat.
Well, I mean, it was the Star Wars Championship match.
Something happens.
Yeah. It's been done. Somebody finally beat Alex Damon. Andrew DiMolanta finally brought home that belt.
Holy crap.
I say that like his faction is
Wow.
the one I'm pulling for necessarily. Not that I dislike the quirky Mercs, but y'all know who I support. But yeah, go check it out. We had a really interesting conversation about what this looks like for the future of the Star Wars division. Check that out. Snyder Cut episode, it will be out on Tuesday. And if everything goes according to plan and schedules line up, we should have the comic book cast fellas on for that again. And then in the weeks following, we'll be back to covering Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to try to get as many topic episodes in on nights until the Bad Batch starts up.
Yep, Bad Batch, and then just 2 really cool things we're trying to get set up.
Yeah. I want to try to sneak stuff like that in, topic episodes. And then when Bad Batch rolls around, it's going to be a lot of news roundup, episode review, like we do for The Mandalorian. And then same thing for Book of Boba Fett when that starts up at the end of the year and then the beginning of next. So stay tuned for all of that. And Connor, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
They can find me on Twitter at DepaBanana, Instagram at ConmanJFO, and on Facebook at the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics, Tal Swift for short. We're a Facebook group that strives to talk about Star Wars positively, constructively, and in a respectful light and a respectful space, really. It's something you don't really see in the fandom all that often because we're a dumpster fire, so we strive to be a safe space for the Star Wars fandom.
As fandoms are. Yeah.
A little extra trash in the dumpster for Star Wars sometimes.
You gotta set the gold standard, you know.
Yep.
Settle for a fandom no less toxic than Star Wars. Levi, where can the lovely people find you, brother?
Levi_bomb on Twitter, where you can find me having a conversation with Panera Bread.
That gave me a flashback. I was laughing my ass off when I saw your message in the chat that Panera Bread responded.
Yeah.
And then I was reminded of the time that it was back whenever we were still with DDN, when we were doing the audio commentaries for the Skywalker saga.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis offhandedly, I know we were drinking during the audio commentaries. I don't know if either of us were even drunk or if we did this stone cold sober. But Travis, like halfway through one of the movies, decided to like reach out to Ritz Crackers because he saw that their DMs were open on Twitter and was like, "Hi, we're the hosts of Dewback Discussion, the Star Wars podcast, and we would like to be the official Star Wars podcast of Ritz Crackers." And
what happened?
They DM'd him back in the morning, and they were like, "Hi, Travis. Thank you for reaching out, and good luck with the show. Unfortunately, we don't do sponsorships like that, but we really hope that everything goes well for you and your show." It was something they sent a very sweet DM back, and
That's cool.
Part of us are hoping it was going to be like depressed Wendy style brand Twitter, where it was going to be like, "How did you get this number?" type shit, but it was funny.
Yeah.
The Panera Bread thing is, I have a friend who works for the Panera Bread social media, so that's why.
All right. Yeah, tell your friend to spread avocado the right way.
Okay.
What if it was your friend who made that call, who like saw that you and Levi are mutuals on Twitter and went, "Oh, this will get back to Connor probably."
Yeah, it sucked, man. A BLTA. First of all, I hate how Panera ruins sandwiches by trying to make it healthier. And then, second of
America, let me get heart
second
disease.
of all,
Yep.
all right, the avocado on the BLT, like 3/4 of the avocado was on the first half. It was like, you know how I have bad experiences with Permane Brothers,
Yeah.
where it's just like an avalanche of cabbage, right? That's what it was at Panera with fucking avocado. It was just half an inch tall of green mush on one half a sandwich. Disgusting.
My biggest gripe with Panera Bread is that I think their Caesar dressing is weirdly dry. And like the only thing on their menu that really appeals to me is like the chicken Caesar sandwich, but that's neither here nor there.
No.
We are.
Oh, if you want a non-toxic fan base, you go and you watch yourself The Dragon Prince. Produced by Aaron, I'm going to kill his last name, Ahaz, who was a producer or director. I keep getting those two mixed up, for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I remember you mentioning that before.
So it's a very good show, and four new seasons for it have been confirmed, and there are 3 out right now. It is on the Netflix. So
7-season run is not something most animated shows get, so that's very exciting. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Case and Breon, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, and Zach Canals. You guys help us make the content we love to produce.
yes, you do.
If you are interested at all, be sure to look at the $5 tier. That's where you get access to all of our Patreon exclusive shows. The Versus series, March's matchup was Kyle Katarn versus Darth Malgus, and April's is going to be Executor Cedrus versus the Grand Inquisitor, a suggestion by the one and only Levi Bomb. Check out Heroic History 101, where Travis and I review older comic book stories. For Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we reviewed Sam Wilson, Captain America, Volume 1 by Nick Spencer. And for this,
Was it good?
March and then April. Yes, it was very good.
Very good.
We're going to be reviewing the New 52 Assembly of the Justice League by Jeff Johns. Bad dude. But great comic, unfortunately, because that is kind of what the Snyder Cut is based off of. So tune in for all that. Check out the audio commentary tie-ins with Nerd Academy Movie Club. Sure to check out. The hiccups are killing me all of a sudden. My stomach is still upset.
We do TeePublic.
I was about to do that next, and then my hiccups.
You can check out our TeePublic for all of your Nerd Academy podcast merch, including the pillow that you can't see that I always hold up when I'm here. So you can...
My phone case you can't see, and the stickers on my laptop.
I was going to let you do the joke.
I'm sorry.
With the pillow. So if you get the pillow, you can...
Sleep on us without sleeping on us.
There you go.
I forgot about that dog shit joke.
It's better than your freaking hose.
That has no context for anybody, and that's okay.
It doesn't matter. They don't need to know. They shouldn't know.
It's still the funniest thing I've
Good.
It isn't.
Thank you all so very much for listening. We are honored that you have joined us, and may the force
be with you always.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, yeah.